Tonight, the stock cars hit the racetrack for the first time this season. Precision Racing League ready to be happy with us as we start off tonight's action with the Truck Series from iRacing's virtual Chicagoland Speedway. Justin Prince alongside Derek Watson here tonight. Dustin Ollis is our producer as we get set for the start of a new Truck Series campaign, Derek. This should be fun.
Well, JP, as you and I kick off our third consecutive season together, we kick off the first season with this new truck package introduced by iRacing here at the Chicagoland Speedway. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this whole season. It's a great schedule. Lots of twists and turns, different tracks, Chicagoland. Then you and I will get a week off for the 4th of July, and then Pocono, Lucas Oil, Daytona right in the middle of the schedule, JP. Then Michigan, Richmond, the Glen, the Milwaukee Mile, and Darlington. This is a very, what do you want to say, JP, eclectic schedule?
Yeah, it's a good mix of road courses, short tracks, super speedways mixed in and drafting tracks. But all of this is with a brand new draft model and driving model that drivers are going to have to factor in tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this all pans out tonight. The drivers have been working hard at it. It's a very hot and slick track here at Chicagoland, so we'll wait and see what this looks like. But I think you're right. I think no matter what kind of racing you're good at this season, JP, there's a shot for anyone to win in PRL Season 3.
Tonight's action brought to you in part by Advanced Sim Racing. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers, Advanced Sim Racing designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable aluminum profile simulation cockpits available in the market today. All be remembers also get a 5% discount on ASR products. Use the Precision 5 coupon code. Racebox offers mid and high-end button boxes for sim racing enthusiasts, but the casual gamer up to the most meticulous sim racing driver. Competitively priced and carefully handcrafted, our button boxes are an enjoyable addition to any sim racing setup. Visit RaceSpotTV.com and get a 5% discount. Use the Precision 5 coupon code. Butt Kicker products add incredible immersion and realism to every game. For every nuance, enjoy put yourself in the driver's seat. Moradness is a performance lifestyle brand motivated by motorsport and founded by professional race car driver Daniel Morad. For more information, visit moradness.com. Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography. Capture your finest, proudest, or simply worst moments from your hobby and up to 8K resolution. A great addition to any sim room. And by Advanced Motorsports. Get ready to be fast. Learn to be fast, rather. Fast with Advanced Motorsports. Follow them on their socials to become a better driver. Qualifying already closed out here. Let's take a look at how they'll start tonight for tonight's 40-minute race. 28 entries, 29 should say, making their way to the racetrack. Austin Hunter will start on the pole for them. Brett Adams in second. Patrick Calgill, Andrew Sharp, your top 4. Matthew Kavikoff will start alongside Mike Richter, your top 6. 7th spot goes to Marty Calvert. Jamie Graham will start in 8th. Philip Beaver, Zach Panzarella, your top 10. Tallahassee will start alongside Brennan Shatley. Declan Durbra starts off on the next page. He'll start alongside Nicholas Hunter. Mackey will start alongside Zachary Burt. Then it's Dylan Smith and Alex Hillman. The last drivers to take times tonight, Mike Toomer Jr., Matthew Avica, and Stacy Hunter. Many more elected not to take times or were not able to due to penalties. That included Will Jennings and Kyle Dewey with EOLs coming over from last season. Doyle Lawrence returns to PRL action for the first time in a couple years. Kevin McGarvey, along with Steve Bammer, Barron Hilton, Andrew Finaro, Will Jennings, Antonio Bannister. The rest are your entries here tonight, Derek.
Yeah, it's a beautiful field of 21 trucks, JP, and a mix for returning drivers, a few new drivers, and some veteran drivers here all together. So I'm excited to see how this field is going to work together as now everyone's on the grid and ready to get moving here in just a sec. So I don't know, I think we counted out 4 or 5 new drivers. We got Jamie Graham, Declan Durba, and a few others who are new. Alex Hillman, I believe, is new, and a couple others. So this is going to be a very exciting 21 trucks here for, actually, I'm sorry, 21, right? 28 trucks, pardon me, for week 1, season 3.
What are your keys to victory here tonight?
Oh, if it stays green, it's all about tire conservation. That's been the notes all throughout practice from all the drivers, is how these tires wear and how you have to manage them. So if we stay green, it's about ripping the top lane of the track and managing those tires. If it doesn't stay green, it's about just making the right pit calls. But I'm excited to see how this race pans out. The track has been cooling off. We're down almost 10 degrees from when practice started, JP. So it was 119 Fahrenheit when practice started. So these drivers are probably happy. 109 is still hot, but it's better than 119.
Who do you think is going to get the job done, though, tonight on this hot racetrack?
Oh, gosh. I mean, this track really probably benefits the veterans part of me, as we've been here now 3 seasons in a row. I would like to say to look out for Patrick Cowgill is an obvious answer, but we'll see how this race pans out. But Cowgill or Andrew Sharp, I think, might be my front runners.
iRacing has control of the initial start here. Austin Hunter, career pole number 1. He'll be up at the front alongside Brett Adams. Green flag is out. We're underway for a new PRL season from Chicagoland. Good start for Austin Hunter. He maintains the front spot. Brett Adams under attack, though, for second. Cowgill and the more blue truck this season, looking to the inside, not able to get the wraparound.
Yeah, maybe a broadcaster's nightmare, JB. So many new paints for us to learn here. But first time pole sitter Austin Hunter leads the first lap here at Chicagoland. Seems to be ripping it around pretty comfortably, moving that truck around in many different lanes, trying to hold off Brett Adams here.
Some drivers having issues on cold tires. Matthew Karakov nearly drifted up the track in front of Mike Richter. And this isn't quite simple as full throttle gets the job done now. No, no, no. You better be able to save tire and make sure you know how to use throttle control. The combination that's been described and how this now feels, Derek, for the drivers tonight is a mix of both the Cup car and the Grand National car put together.
Yeah, it's very challenging. As you said, this is not a full throttle rip it around the track. You have to have some throttle management. As you saw that car there get loose, that was scary. Is that Cowgill in the blue car?
Yes, it was in the blue truck indeed. But do you run the bottom or do you run the top? That's the talking point. Right now, the leader preferring the top defensively, Derek.
Oh, I would run the top for sure, right? Because the typical rule of racing is that the less input you need to put into that wheel, you know, the better you save tires and the less likelihood that that car snaps out of control on you. But we'll see how everybody runs the line. We're seeing a mix of it right now. We see a few drivers running that top lane. Watch this corner here. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 or 5 different lanes being used in that back of that camera shot here. Looking back from Austin Hunter, your race leader. Look how he gets back down there, JP. He likes the top of the track, but he does make sure to get down there and block Brett Adams.
Yeah, this is called the aero games, right? Because clean air with this package, Derek, is king.
Oh yeah, clean air is really important, so you want to lead here. Or if you're Brett Adams, you almost want to maybe pull out a line and hope some people would follow. There he is on the bottom, and now he has clean air on the bottom, has 2, 3 cars behind him. And we'll see if he can hold on to it here. The tactic that I think will be tricky if he wants to pull it off, and we see one truck down on an apron, JP. That's the sketchy part. You can make it work for you. You can gain time down there, but that re-entry can be awfully messy on this hot, hot track.
It can also burn up more tires in theory because you're turning more the wheel input, as you said. But Brett Adams wants the lead for the first time. He prefers the bottom of the racetrack. Now Cowgill up to top side. Brett Adams just about clear, but he does get the lead lap this time.
That's the point. Remember, in PRL, we give out points for hitting the pole, which Austin got. A point for leading a lap, which now Brett has. And, of course, leading most laps. We don't know the answer to that yet. We'll find that out later. So we'll see how many bonus points go to different drivers here. But look at these drivers here. All that talk about a new package and all the confusion about aerodynamics and how it would behave. And we're still all bunched together in the trucks. There's still a nice little pack here of, what, 4, 5, or 6 trucks. All within 2, 3 seconds.
Give or take. And right now, a lot of side draft attempts from Cowgill in the battle now for second. Oh, that's wow. Most drivers have maintained the track position so far. It is possible to come from the back to the front if you are good on long run. And a lot of these drivers seem to be trying to sort out what's the best approach here. It's the first time PRL's raced with this new package, mind you, that adds a lot more side force variance compared to the previous build where there was very much zero.
Oh yeah, that's a big problem, or a big change, not a problem per se, but a change is this new package. But you're right, we're now seeing, us run a few laps green here. We're now working a good number of laps and we're staying green. So now in the back of our drivers' minds, they got to start thinking about that tire conservation and, short run versus long run. And maybe we see someone, for example, like a Brett Adams who's in the lead, or a Mike Richter who's up 2 spots, even a Jamie Graham, a rookie here tonight. If you get too aggressive early and the caution doesn't come out, you may have burned up your tires. And as someone from the back, like a Declan Durba, a Brandon Chatley, a Zachary Brent, a Nicholas Hunter, may move their way through just because they conserve more tires than you did.
They'll go up to second. Now looking to make some moves is Graham. You mentioned, or rather should I say, in this grouping right now, to the inside, that is Karakov. Sharp starting to drop back near contact yet again.
Man, some of the exits out of these corners, though, that the guys in the bottom are getting, they're looking like they are coming up right to the top. They don't ever do it, but if you're the driver up top, you have to be scared by how close they're getting on corner exits to you. You see Sharp kind of react there. I don't think he tagged the wall, but you saw him kind of wiggle the car with a lack of confidence. He got scared he was going to get tagged himself here, but now he's going to go to the bottom, and he wants to try a new lane and see how it works out for him.
Yeah, Chicagoland, despite the new build, you still have to think about the different lane variants. Right now, Andrew looks very nervous.
Which is sort of, crazy. He and I were kind of talking pre-race, and he's told me pre-race that he kind of joked. He said, if this stays green, I'm going to do like 3 green flag stops for tires because of how bad the tires are wearing. But, it's crazy to think of Andrew still basically kind of sort of a rookie to ovals. Still seeing some ovals for the first time, but we've been here 3 seasons in a row, and Andrew has raced all 3 seasons, so I would think this would be one of the better tracks for Andrew tonight due to his seat time and experience at the track.
Yeah, Battle Bus Racing Machine having some moments. Oh, that's wow. Austin Hunter nearly just tank slapped the wall in the 27. Got so loose that he nearly knocked the wall down.
Yeah, so that's starting to come into play here. As these tires wear, those cars are going to get loose. They're going to wiggle through the corners. They're going to slide through the corners. I think someone in practice from Whataback earlier told me they'd never seen a car do a 4-tire slide out the corner until tonight.
So right now, Brett Adams, your current race leader. Oh my goodness, Austin Hunter nearly wrecked it. Also a loose moment in the back. That's one of your drivers, I believe, in Durba.
And that's Declan Durba doing a great job saving the car, or his truck. I keep saying car. That's not right. It's going to be truck, but we're going to go radio style here for a moment, JP, while I get our video feedback. So if you want to take the front straight, I'll take the back, and we'll work it out, I guess.
Yes, indeed. So right now, to reset, Brad Adams, your current race leader, has the lead by more than a second, and it's growing. Last time by 32.5 down the back straightaway. Calgill in second, Austin Hunter third. Whataback teammate Mike Richter in fourth. Then Andrew Sharp rounds out your current top 5. Matthew Kamakov round out the top 6. Calvert, Graham, Panzarella, and Beaver, your top 10. Front straightaway. Everyone goes single file, but the battle is on for third. Inside line for the 51 of Richter. Outside, taken by Hunter through to the back straightaway.
Coming down the back straight is still side by side. Advantage to the outside car, now pulling away. So now Austin Hunter is going to take the lead here, coming into 4. And they'll now be single file out of 4 back to the front straight.
Now we got the video feeds back here across the racetrack, by the way, as we take a look at how things look for Richter. Andrew Sharp trying to pounce to the outside after Richter's failed pass attempt.
Yeah, so had to really readjust there. Oh man, look at that wiggle there again from that truck. scary moment. Remember, I always say to you, JP, if we can see the car wiggle from the broadcast cameras, it might have been only 100 times worse inside the truck.
We're already here inside the green light on fuel, by the way, for tonight's race. That expected to be around 49 laps to go. They're estimated to be at about 56 to go in the field. So already a very quick race. Going to be a one-stopper on gas.
Yep, as long as we stay green, it'll be a one-stopper for sure. But look at this huge pack of cars right here, JP. And this is incredible to see. It's Hunter, Sharp, Calvert, Karakov, Jamie Graham, all right here together, trying to claim their spot on the track.
Matthew Karakov right now in the popcorn seat for that. In front, a different look Bucky's truck for the Beaver Believer machine in the Philmar truck. That's the machine of Phil Beaver in the 60 getting loose. A little bit of near contact with the 16. That's Marty Calvert.
And there's the 16 all the way at the bottom, almost tagging Andrew Sharp on the way back out of the exit of the corner, or his exit of the corner. But did a great job of keeping everything together here. But man, it is getting tight and scary. Now working lap 20, by the way. 20 laps green here in our season opener. And despite all the concern the drivers had about how tricky these trucks were to handle, JP, everything is kind of calm. Well, not calm. Calm is a lie. It's not calm, but it's green. By the way, speaking of new paints, look at that Panzarella paint back there, big and green this season. I think the dog is gone, if I do recall, from the truck. Last season's champion has a new paint scheme.
Yeah, Panzarella trying to catch up to this whole gaggle of trucks on screen. Karakov still trying to hold on to a top 5, but here comes the rookie in Graham. He runs for Murphy Esports, should say. And he's trying to gain some ground and quickly high side.
Doing a great job side by side here, having the confidence to run the top in that pretty basic white machine. A little bit of logos on it, but not covered in sponsors by any means. So maybe we'll see if we can find him some sponsors as the season goes on. But doing a great run here as a 32. Got clear, is now trying to catch this group in front of him.
Trying to play the different lines, but Calvert looking to go up to a +3. Able to do so in the Philmar truck. Here's the onboard from Graham.
Yep, Jamie Graham has said part of Murphy Esports, brand new this season to PRL trucks. It's a rookie season in PRL, so welcome in Jamie Graham. Always happy to see you drivers. Man, look at how these trucks are just like fishtailing back and forth out of 4. That is... Oh.
Yeah, some moments there once again popping up. Runs a lot with this truck, mind you. Fresh face in a fresh place, as he described it on social media before announcing said posting. The past few days has ran a lot in different series in the Cup car previous to this one.
Yeah, so always great to see new faces, but experienced faces come around here. This is the battle back here, right for about 9th on back. This right in your screenshot is Mike Richter, Panzarella, Brandon Chatley, Declan Durba, Jake Mackey back there, the owner of Big Fast, is back there. So nice little pack. This is some beautiful racing all across the track here, JP. It may not all be packed in together like a Daytona or a Talladega, but anywhere you look on this track where there's a truck, there's another truck next to it, it feels like.
So we keep an eye on the different changes, but a caution. Well, there's a change. There it is. Out of turn 4. Back of the field, Will Jennings, Mike Toomer Jr., Stacey Hunter in the vicinity. Antonio Bannister having to come to a full stop as well.
We'll wait for a moment, let the RaceSpot replay machine buffer up and see what happened here. But that's going to create a nice break for everybody to come down pit road here with about 26, maybe 25 minutes to go when pit road opens. And that'll let everyone kind of reset and reshuffle and do it again. But that first 15 minutes was a success for everybody. A couple wiggles, JP, but everyone held the truck. No big wall hits. So I would call this as a success.
Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened. Oh, wow.
Oh, well, there you go. I said no wall hits, and there was one right there that checked up Toomer, and then Toomer got hit from behind, and then unfortunately from there, just kind of went everywhere.
Dylan Schmidt was the one who slammed into the wall. So that's what brings us under caution for the first time here in this one, with already about 25 minutes to work with. This should get the field to the end on gas, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Everyone down pit road. So here we come, JP. Everyone, I'm guessing, gas and 4 tires. No reason not to. We'll see who can get in and out of their box a little faster and see if anyone can maybe make up some time. But everyone's down a very, very, very busy pit road. Look at that one car that's coming off a pit stall, JP. That could be trouble here. Watch out.
That's Bannister, who's going to be a lap down and is causing some trouble midfielders. Like, already some tempers flaring on the radio from that one, but rest of the field able to make their pit stalls. First one off the pit road this time. Race is on for Brett Adams. Able to get to the green cone, no issue.
I suspect to see that Declan Durba will be the big quote-unquote loser of this pit because they're the one that got held up by Bannister. I believe the two I saw have to kind of wait and go sideways to get in. So I suspect Durba will be the one to lose a few spots here, but you're right. Tempers already were flaring. It was someone else. It wasn't even Durba. Someone else kind of on Bannister's case, just saying, you know, what are you doing? But let's watch another replay. It's from Dylan Schmidt, JP. And let's see what's going to happen to him and what's going to happen here. A little loud. There we go. Got that fixed. This is from the, oh man, he hits the wall there. And then Toomer checks up. Yeah, Toomer checked up when he came down, and then Toomer got ran over, so just unfortunate to see.
That's why we're under yellow for the first time here already here today. So, field getting ready for the restart. Already one to go signal. Adams, Calgill, Sharp, Hunter, and Calvert, your top 5 on the racetrack. Your thoughts on the racing so far?
Oh, it's been great. It's been side by side. There's a little bit of, you know, getting close, but no, you know, big moments here of anyone really making contact outside of the caution. So a lot of great racing is happening here, but moment thought for now, look at P4. Your pole sitter, Austin Hunter, down to P4 after your pit stops. So Brett Adams is going to lead here again. Be Adams, Calgill, Sharp, Hunter, and Calvert, your top 5. But look at that rookie Jamie Graham holding their own in the Truck Series.
This should be an interesting restart. We'll see if everyone handles the cold tires properly here. By the way, your biggest mover now in this one is Dewey, up 8 spots to the 15th position for this restart. Field in the hands of Brett Adams this time. Pace truck is off. Restart. Green. Underway cleanly. And no issues for the green flag. There is some bump drafting going on for the outside.
Look at that, the 36-year-old Michigan native in Calgill wants to get a great start here and does with that little bit of bump draft. And is now trying to catch Brett Adams fast here. Calgill just barely missed out last season, JP, on another series title, but wants to come out and claim one this season. And winning your first race, that's a good way to get started.
Calgill, meanwhile, he's looking to get started on a fight for the race lead. Better run down the front straightaway. Put to the race lead, Patrick Calgill for the first time tonight.
There you go, Calgill out front leading here. Now it's Calgill, Adams, Sharp, Barney, Hunter, and Calvert, and we're wrecking again. Look at that big wreck all through the middle.
Caution flag is out. It's Graham, the rookie, who gets turned around. And we're under yellow for the second time.
Fast. I heard the little bit of wall contact, and I looked up, and there was smoke everywhere. Still a car parked sideways in the 11. And now they're going to get moving here.
Will Jennings is also towed from this incident. So they'll re-rack him and stack him. And the rookie and Graham, who's off to a strong start, has a big crunch that puts that to the wayside.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how bad it is and what happened to Jamie, but I said it happened suddenly. So Cowgill will lead here under this caution, where realistically your only pitters should be those who maybe just picked up some damage in this incident right here. So with 20 minutes to go, now time is ticking, JP. But let's see the replay. Let's see what happens here. I'm excited to see it from this point of view. There's trucks up top, trucks everywhere. Oh, I can't tell, did Graham come up or if Graham got hooked from that angle?
Yeah, not quite sure either. But he does have significant damage regardless of what the context is there. He's got a meatball flag. He'll have to get all the damage served and repaired before he get back going. So halfway through this one, here's another look.
Looks like he got hooked.
Yeah. And the rollover physics nearly got tested there too, Derek.
Yeah, it's always a scary moment for anyone in VR, I would think, right? As the 7 truck got a hold of that back bump, it happened on backwards because once Jamie Graham and the 7 of Matthew Karakoff, it was on from there.
So, under caution, Cowgill, Adams, Sharp, Austin, Hunter, your top 4. Calvert, Karakoff, your top 6 on circuit. So, with it being caution, precaution, what's it going to take to be able to gain the track position now?
Great restarts. Being able to time this restart perfectly and be able to find some ways to kind of get through it and make things happen, because you have to be scared that another caution's coming. You can't, when you had that 18-20 lap run we started with, you kind of got confident we were doing well. You kind of got confident, you know, that the time was on your side, so to speak. But now you start to let that doubt creep in. Now you let that concern creep in. Everyone's going to get more aggressive.
And Cowgill running off the same pace as we talked about last season. Championship form last campaign, Derek. Right back to it this year.
Yeah, right back to it so far. You know, still, 18-ish minutes left in this race. We'll see what happens. Lots of contenders up here in this pack. In fact, last season's champion is within camera shot.
Yeah, and Panzarella was one of the drivers talking over the radio, trying to figure out what's the damage like. He's got significant right front damage, Panzarella does, Derek.
So we'll wait and see how that affects this new truck model and how it affects at this track specifically. You know, some tracks we race at, that damage can really just put a parachute on you. Sometimes you find out if you can stay in a draft, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe you can't lead the draft, but maybe you can follow in a draft. Maybe you need a pusher. So Panzarella's going to do a very quick amount of sort of scientific testing when we go green here, and just kind of hope he doesn't just fall like a rock here at Chicagoland.
Want to go signal once again. Cowgill, Adams, Sharp, and Hunter, Calvert, Karakoff, Panzarella, Beaver, Chatley, and Zachary Burton is your top 10. Another newcomer has now joined the top 10.
Yeah, another newcomer indeed, right? So we're seeing all this.
We apologize for the technical difficulties as we're down to the final 13 minutes here from Chicagoland. Cowgill currently lead by a second, Derek, but Brad Adams and Andrew Sharp, they're trying to battle hard for second.
And this is what they need to do, right? They need to be here with each other. Get that little bit of draft as much as you can get at this track. Go run down Cowgill and then worry about your battles here. As you said, this restart that we were waiting for has been frantic. It's been, busy, but not aggressive. That's what I thought it had to be for someone to work here. But now Sharp and Adams are going to run separate lines through the corner. See if they come back together. They do. But man, every time you do that, I think you're losing ground on the race leader.
Yeah, right now, if you're battling like that, the focus is not for the race lead. At least that doesn't seem to be the case with Cowgill really setting sail down the straightaways. Calvert's done a great job this run, though. he's been slowly but surely moving up with these long runs. He's up to 4th in this.
Yeah, doing a great job, isn't he, of this long run's really benefiting him and benefiting a lot of drivers who are moving up and down the field here. By the way, of note, not on camera, but I'm going to point out you had those comments earlier about the damage on Panzarella. There is that green truck in the back of your shot there. Still running P6, doesn't appear to be quite on pace with the top 5, but after that wreck he had, if he can walk out of here with a P6, that'll be a personal victory in my opinion.
Hey, pace is pace, and he's really showcasing that if it had a clean truck, he might be up at this grouping, where Adams again is under attack by Sharp. The battle bus truck inside. The Adams family racing truck to the outside. Sharp getting the advantage for the stripe at least.
Yep, now Sharp needs to complete this pass and get moving. The worst thing for these two drivers is to keep racing side by side like this. If they do, they're really just letting Calgill keep running away with this race. So you see for the moment Sharp is kind of backed out. He's going to get back in line. It's Adams, Sharp, and Marty Calvert, 2, 3, and 4.
Adams doing really strong since starting outside front row throughout this entire race. The battle is on, though, behind Panzarella. Shatley, Byrne. Amongst those battling, Phil Beaver's back there. You also throw Doyle Lawrence, who started 22nd in there.
Yeah, lots of great battles happening across. There's our rookie, the 28 machine, we were talking about right before we stepped away for a moment. So lots of great racing happening up and down this track here. So lots of moral victories to be had here tonight. But look at this here. This is a great shot from the top of the track here. This is from Tom Amassi. And trying to run down his competitors as fast as possible. There's not much longer left in this race, JP.
Massey on the recovery drive in theory because he struggled for a fair bit. Almost hits the back end of the 9 truck. He had been down to 15th on the last long run.
And barely. I don't know how he didn't tag the back of Doyle Lawrence there. That was impressive in a way that how he sort of avoided that. But again, now we see Burnt on the inside here of Brandon Chatley in this battle for 8th and 9th on track. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11 right here. These 4 cars on your screen with Panzarella battling Philip Beaver right ahead of them. So lots of battling here. About 9 minutes left on the clock, JP. We're getting eerily close to the point of no return.
That point of no return, about 4.5 minutes to go on the clock tonight. Meanwhile, Beaver, he's now trying to become the first to pass Panzarella for 6th spot this run. He's got more aerodynamic truck parts. Same going on for the battle going on for 3rd. Calvert slides up with a Fillmore truck.
Yep, great job sliding up there here. So there's Sharp now racing with your pole sitter Austin Hunter right behind him. So that's 4th and 5th. Here's the battle on back. Panzarella getting passed by Philip Beaver. So maybe we're seeing that little bit of damage on Panzarella's car starting to really show its ugly head, as he just seems a little off, doesn't he, JP? Just not able to really be at full speed compared to some of his competitors. Oh, we got a truck in the wall. That's in the back in the field. Sorry, that's 13, and we're going to stay green.
That's Jake Mackey. Mackey able to keep it straight, though, despite the contact. He's got a meatball flag from that hit, and that's not going to help. He's nearly spinning it.
Yeah, I started saying, look at that. He's having a horrible time here. Big wiggles up and down the corner. Don't get close to him, 11. He's going to have a hard enough time as it is. Don't make it worse. Let's see if he gets it down to pit road here.
So we stay green. Panzarella just got shuffled back from Brendan Chatley. It's now also trying to do the same from the inside. Now able to slot up in front of Panzarella. Panzarella started to really feel the effects of the arrow with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, if anyone's begging for a caution, it might be Zach Panzarella, because if it happens, he needs to pit and get that damage fixed. And then, yeah, he might fall back a few more slots, but he needs to think about getting that damage fixed, or at least hoping that maybe the caution timer runs out on the race, you know, and he kind of gets to hold a spot, because he is falling back quick here as he just got passed by Burnt.
Able to get him for 9th. Panzarella doesn't have the arrow. Here's the battle for 4th. Austin Hunter He wants to make up for lost ground. Sharp struggling long run.
Yep, Sharp here is struggling in this long run. Sharp, of course, one of the people who's really pushed for the new race you'll see tomorrow night on RaceSpot with the GR86s and the MX5s making a return in multi-class racing. Andrew's maybe the biggest GR86 fanboy you're ever going to meet, JP. But right now he's having a hard time behind Austin Hunter.
Yeah, we've seen him race a lot actually in the official Toyota GR Cup for North America, especially in the past couple months. So he is taking his talents to multiple different series throughout the summertime. Patrick Cowgill is still leading on screen though. That gap has gone down half a second the past couple minutes.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if maybe Cowgill got a little too aggressive here. Didn't need to have that big gap. Maybe he's burned up a little bit of tires, or Brett Adams has figured something out. Look at those sectors right there on the laps, I should say. You know, none of them, I mean, 0.2 of a second is the biggest one, but any amount of time you can make up here on Cowgill will help. And now that draft is really in play. It is dropping quickly now down to 1/4 of a second with about 5.5 minutes to go.
Can Adams find a way around, though, to make the pass? It's easy to catch. It's hard to pass, is the saying. These two have been the field outside of Marty Calvert, who's also starting to reel them both in.
Yeah, both doing a great job here. I mean, he really is reeling in Cowgill. You're right, reeling in is the best term I could come up with here. Doing a great job. They're going to come up on lap trucks. I don't know if they might play a small factor before the end of this race, JP, and we'll see who manages the traffic better, Cowgill or Adams.
Right now, Cowgill is a little bit looser compared to Adams. Adams able to keep tight despite the dirty air. With the dirty air, I should say. Now he's trying the different line, trying to find clean air with 4.5 minutes to go, point of no return.
We are there now, so whatever happens here, will it be the checkered flag or the caution flag? The next one would end the race. And if you're Cowgill, you want to see the caution because Adams is running you down fast. Look at Adams here running a slightly different line, getting a little bit of clean air through the corners, using that draft, now makes the move. Now they're going to be side by side in the 3.
Adams trying to go for a late arc, pushing Cowgill up the track. Can he complete the pass? Cowgill had to get his foot back into it. Side by side as Brett Adams takes the lead.
Adams did a great job of getting up there and sort of sitting next to Cowgill and made Cowgill think about the corner exit. Now Adams will race it here on the bottom groove, maybe one groove up here.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Cowgill in the wall.
Cowgill slams the wall. That takes him out of contention. Calvert drives by for second, and Brett Adams now leads with under 3.5 minutes to go.
And boy, I'll tell you, more maybe than the physical damage to that truck, JP, maybe the mental frustration to Patrick Cowgill to see if he can gather himself up here. Cowgill is known to be a bit of emotional at times, and so he may have a hard time gathering that back together, but also may not have enough time to get back up there.
May not have enough tire. Meanwhile, Panzarella coming off the championship. He's having to deal with Kyle Dewey, who's done very solid from the EOL penalty. Not a lot of qualified penalty, should say. Now looking for 10th.
Kyle in a brand new truck this season. That bright green will have an easy time spotting him this season, JP, with those big bright green 33 numbers on the side and top of that truck here. But look at him just powering his way by Panzarella here. You can see, man, it's evident lap by lap that you were right, that Panzarella had damage and it is affecting that truck.
Yeah, right now just trying to run the top side best he can right now. Dewey has the better truck to the inside right now with about 2 minutes to work with 4 estimated laps to go.
Dewey needs to maybe stop running down to the very bottom, JP. He needs to get up there a little bit in the groove, not scrub the tires as much coming into the corner, and be willing to scrub it back out just like that. Man, he's got to get out a little bit more. I think he got scared by how fast he exited the corner there. But that's what you got to do. You got to get up there and almost rub up against Panzarella and let that truck gain that speed and that momentum. That's how you exit a corner and pass someone correctly.
He's almost giving too much space. That's
Oh,
costing
yeah.
him to a detriment.
Oh yeah, if luckily for him, the truck behind him is not in contention right now, because that truck behind him really could, that's Tom and Massey, really could get in there, almost make it 3 wide with how much gap Kyle Dewey's leaving.
Despite all the space given, Dewey still makes the pass for 10th. Under 90 seconds to go. Estimated 2 to go at the stripe for the leaders.
Right now, Brett Adams is walking away with this race up over 6-7 tenths of a second on Marty Calvert here. They're going to come up on 1 lap truck. Should not play a factor here. At 1 minute to go, they'll cross the line here. And man, right now, Brett Adams is going to benefit from the mistake by Patrick Cowgill.
He's been lightning quick all night long tonight. Brett Adams just a couple laps away from victory. He's good for at least a couple wins a season, and tonight he sets the boom to start the season.
This is a great way to start here. This is a great momentum to set, because now everyone gets an extra week to think about it. Remember, no racing next week for the 4th of July. Everyone gets 2 weeks to think about it with 1 lap to go here at Chicagoland.
Final time around, Brett Adams looking to finish the job. Right now up by 8-9 tenths over Calvert. Brett Adams tonight started outside front row, set the table early by getting to the race lead. Shuffled back to second for much of this run, but he had the long run pace set to go regardless. Checkered flag waves. Brett Adams will come across to the checkered flag now and win over Marty Calvert.
Well, if every race is that exciting, JP, if every race races that hard, that clean, all season long, this will be an amazing season here for the PRL trucks.
Cowgill still salvages the top 3. Austin Hunter from the pole finishes 4th. Andrew Sharp a top 5 run. But it's the Texan and Adams who does it yet again in his truck. And he'll get the chance to celebrate this one as everybody's now crossed the stripe. Adams Family Racing will go to victory lane yet again. Brett Adams gets the victory to start off the season. Let's take a look at the unofficial race results in this one, as he ends up picking up the victory by a second over Calvert. 3rd spot went to Patrick Cowgill, Austin Hunter, Andrew Sharp, your top 5, Beaver, Chatley, Rent, Bernert, along with Dewey, your top 10 on track. 11th goes to Panzarella, Massey, Nick Hunter, Bammer, Schmidt, Venero, Graham, Deborah, Bannister, and Hunter. Stacy Hunter, your top 20. Karakoff finishes 21st, Mike Richter 22nd, Hillman and Albica last the lead lap. A lap down for Baron Hilton, 2 laps down for Mackey. Then 3 down is Toomer Jr. 35 down with the DNF is Jennings. McGarvey did not take the green. That's all talked about your race results here tonight in this one. As we currently wait to see what the top 3 have to say from this one. We do have 3rd spot standing on by already. Patrick, what happened in those final stages?
Yeah, I have no idea. All through practice, it seemed like I was getting loose after about 15 laps, like really, really loose. And during the race, it was the complete opposite. I was getting tight everywhere except for the exit of 2. And I tried running it hard to see if I could get it to get looser. And I think that's what pretty much killed me there at the end.
Overall, though, how difficult has it been trying to adapt to this new build?
I'll be honest, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of tight setups, and it seems like this new build is all tight.
So what's that now going to mean for the next time out for you? What's going to be the main focus in practice and testing?
I'm not really sure. I mean, the schedule is all, it seems like all oddball tracks. I'm definitely still looking forward to Darlington at the end of the season, but other than that, I guess I'll just have to see what comes along.
Any shout would you like to give here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank CTN, MB1, Connecting Cure, the guys at Whataback Racing, everybody at RaceSpot, and PRL for putting all this together, and my wife for letting me race.
Once again, congratulations on the run here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Patrick Calgio finishes the race third tonight. Second spot, standing on by, that's Marty Calvert with Derek.
Well, Marty, you started 7th and you finished 2nd, so overall that's a net positive on the night. It looked crazy from up here. Was it crazy down there?
It was very crazy. That track was very slick, very hot when we got started. Looked like we got some cloud cover part of the way through, and that helped bring the grip level up a little bit. But this one was tough coming into it. I was not very confident at all. Didn't have a lot of practice time this week just due to life, but was able to get a few pointers from my teammate Philip. Big shout out to him, and we just got a good strong start to the season for Philmar. We're excited.
Yeah, great start for Philmar, right? A P2 finish is definitely a great start to the season. So we take a week off and then we go to Pocono. What are your expectations for that?
I like Pocono. I've never raced it in a truck, so I'll have to put a little work into it. I've had a lot of fun there in the Cup car in the past, so I'm looking forward to it. I tend to like tracks that are a little different and not just your standard oval. So hopefully I can have good success there.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but real-life Xfinity driver Ryan Vargas has started this campaign that Pocono really has 5 corners instead of 3. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to go catch up on it.
There you go. All right, well, listen, great run tonight. We'll let you go catch up on that and just taking a breather after this race. Congrats on the P2.
Thanks, Derek. Thanks, RaceSpot and PRL.
Marty Calvert coming away second tonight in this one, but in the very end, race win. Brett Adams, do it again, this time with a brand new build. How are you feeling about the win?
Feeling great about it. I wasn't too confident coming in, but the car set up loose, and appreciate those long runs. A lot of fun.
What were you not feeling confident about coming in?
Well, the new build, and I didn't do too well last week in our warm-up race. Started in the back, and just didn't do too well, so wasn't super confident. But it was a fun track. They got a lot of tracks this season that I'm looking forward to. Should be a good season.
Overall, though, what's kind of the main thing that you think will pop up with this new build that you are still adapting to even with this victory?
So, hey, you broke up there. What was that?
With the new build tonight, there's a lot to adapt to. What's the one thing you're keeping an eye on that for the next race for this series?
Well, I'm hopeful that it stays loose, so we'll see if that plays out, and then we'll see how the side force plays a role. We got some tracks coming up where drafting might be on the table when we get to Daytona and wherever else we're going, Michigan, I think.
Well, anyone want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, shout out to my family. My son Parker just finished up his all-star baseball season with the Diamond Hawks. My wife, who's supportive, watching in the other room, and of course you guys for always putting on a good show.
Congratulations on the victory tonight, Brett.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Brett Adams coming away with the win tonight. I'd like to thank the top 3 for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on RaceSpot for the Truck Series. The next time out, as touched upon a little bit, will be Pocono for the Truck Series. 8:30 p.m. the start time for coverage then. That'll be after the holidays on July the 10th, 2024, after the 4th of July. So that should be a fun time, Derek. Your thoughts on the Pocono, or rather on the truck race at Chicagoland?
What great fun that was, JP. There's a lot of great battles up and down the field. I mean, there's a lot of battles that we really probably didn't get to show enough of because it's just how great everything was. So I'm excited for the week off for the holiday, but I'm excited to be back with you in 2 weeks at the pesky Pentagon.
We'll see what happens. I don't think Pocono's a Pentagon. I'll just say that.
5 turns.
It doesn't look like a Pentagon. But you know
it's got
where
5 turns.
You know where we definitely know has 4 turns? Nashville Super Speedway, because it's time to kick things off for the other side of the card. Welcome to the Grand National Series, and it's start to a new season here on RaceSpot. to at iRacing's virtual Nashville Super Speedway, Derek. This series, much different schedule compared to the truck.
Well, yeah, the schedule is very different compared to the trucks, right? So we're going to have a different time here. We'll start at Nashville. Once again, we have a week off and go to Pocono. That's where it deviates. Then we go to Indianapolis. We go to Kentucky. Haven't seen that on the schedule in a while. Lucas Oil, Chicagoland, Michigan, and Daytona are a lot later in the season. And then we'll end at Darlington. So lots of different stuff here. We're going to skip the Chicago street course. We will not do that because of the holiday week. And in fact, there's no road course on this schedule, so the trucks get that benefit that the Xfinity cars do not.
But some interesting races back on the schedule. Indianapolis in particular is going to have a star next to it for many because, well, it's the return to racing on the oval at the Brickyard.
Yeah, a lot of questions, right? In a schedule, look at this. It has a lot of familiar tracks. Lucas Oil, Chicagoland, Michigan, Daytona, Darlington. What an ending that is. That big question mark is how will the cars behave, or what do we remember about racing the oval in Indianapolis? It's been a number of years now since we've done it, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I think sort of that could be the biggest wild card of the season. And also Kentucky. We've not been there a while either, so I'm excited for both of those things to happen.
So right now we have about a minute or so before qualifying gets underway. A lot of new faces in this series, by the way. Some of the notables that are in the field tonight: Jeff Ward, a longtime sim racing veteran. You also throw Ross Cato into the field, Dustin Bumgarner. Those are your top three, by the way, in practice. A change of the guard expected this season.
Oh, yeah, lots of names involved here. So I guess it's worth mentioning there is no Sunday night broadcast this season because there is no Sunday night race. The Cup season is on hold. And so a lot of names from there. James O'Brien is now racing on Wednesday nights. That's a big name to see in here. And we'll see some others come in, I'm sure, as well as time goes on. But Zach Kerr's in here this season. Bradley Holly is back. James Morgan is back. He's got a new teammate. Ted Lowendick is here. This is a massive field tonight, JP. And I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, it should be an interesting night, to say the least, when it comes to these drivers here. It's going to be a very deep field, potentially, when we go racing, absolutely. Abner Acosta had to put a star next to him. He's been the king of the long run for so long.
Yeah, and Abner, of course, has already raced Wednesdays, but another truck, or another truck, now it's in my head, another car that was racing Sundays as well. So there is the checkered flag on practice, JP, as now qualifying begins at this really interesting track. I want to get your thoughts on this. I was talking with Joshua Lee about this during the Monday Night RSR broadcast. This track to me is sort of three tracks combined. I have Gateway because of the long straightaway in the back. I have Dover because of the concrete and sort of the corners kind of remind me of Dover. And here's the tricky one. I have Nazareth Speedway because of that pesky dog leg on the front straight.
I can see the Nazareth, absolutely. It's a unique track where, for the longest time, it was basically just storage for trucks and for vehicles. Then to the real-world schedule for the first time in years, a couple years ago. Since then, it's been pretty much been one of the more hotter dates on the NASCAR schedule.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't it? This is our third year going, I do believe, in real-life NASCAR. And if you're thinking, I've never seen Nashville before, I bet you have, because everyone who's a NASCAR fan, has seen the boogity, 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 amen prayer. That happened about, 12, 13 years ago at Nashville.
Or better yet, when the entire field crashed down the back straightaway as Michael Waltrip makes the pass.
Well, speaking of crashing, right there was almost a crash right there in qualifying, but he got it up out of 4. And that was by Mikey Smith here. I was watching through the passenger seat of this vehicle. But Mikey did a great job, got it kept together.
Mikey J. Smith, one of those running for Hyperion Racing this season, on some of the newcomers. Very much keeping an eye on Zach Kerr, especially, I think, here tonight as well, because the experience with Nexus, but Hyperion Racing's entry spins it.
He'll get the loss of control, so he probably won't be allowed to count that lap, but I think he did a great job keeping it off the wall, so there's a positive to take with you for this race. Here's Abner Acosta in the 5. Getting ready to turn the beginning of his qualifying run, gets it down on that little bit of banking there and brings it back up. And there is now his warm-up time. Now, this is his first lap, a 31.080 on the pole for the moment, but lots of names left to turn a lap here.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun name to see for much of this season. Expect him to be one of, if not the drivers to beat this season. But also keep an eye on some of the newcomers, as we touched upon. Dustin Bumgarner just put up a solid time up into the top 6. Michael Lemieux yet to put up a time. Paul Williams the second. Keep an eye on now. He's looking to go straight and go fast.
Man, you can do it in a very bright race car, isn't it? That'll be easy to spot from the broadcast booth, those big bright lines across it on the side here. But see what he can do here with this time. And piloting that 7 machine. Paul Williams a second in that beautiful car. And you can come around here, use the banking. And that banking will make you faster, sort of like what JP talked about in the Chicagoland race. But it will also make you a little slicker getting up back on the track.
8th spot for him. Second time around. We'll see if it's in better doing here. First laps seem to be the fast laps. Up top of the board, though, Jeff Ward. Looks like Paul Williams the second struggling to get on throttle. Didn't even get up to the wall. The track out for the corner exit. This time 2/10 slower. But I think Jeff Ward's going to be someone to keep an eye on as well throughout this, because he's raced in a lot of different series, a long-time sim racer of nearly a decade now, Derek. He's going to be difficult to stop as well tonight.
Yeah, very difficult. And here's Adam Zemke now on track. Adam is a veteran of the PRL Grand Nationals as of this point, so he'll come around and see what he can make happen here. And if he can get some great laps. And his first lap was a 31.772. It's about 7/10 off of the pole, so has to make up a lot of time here in lap number 2, JP.
The tires breathe a fair bit the first time around. We'll see how the push lap goes. That leaves Lemieux, O'Brien, Medina, and Geyer yet to set times. This time at 31.2 puts him to the top 10 for the time being.
That's a massive increase of a half a second. Here's Bradley Holly, by the way. Now coming around here, and that's I don't think it's a new look, but a unique look in the red, white, and blue here for Bradley Holly. Now with that 184 machine.
No,
I feel like that's the same. Sorry, I think the same paint Bradley ran for our finale race, if I remember right.
Yeah, the theme fits between Memorial Day and 4th of July, but it looks like we have finished up qualifying. All drivers have set qualifying times. Let's take a look at how they will start tonight. Jeff Ward starts on the pole this evening. Abner Acosta will start second in the Zolpec Precision Racing car. Then it's Zach Kerr, Hyperion Racing, and Nexus Esports partnership. Bradley Holly starts in the top 4. James Morgan, he'll start 5th tonight. Ross Cato and Fast Forward Esports competition start at 6. Thomas Sink starts 7th for Wedeback. Doug Evans in 8th. Lowendick and Lemke, your top 10. Bossman Racing will start 11th and debut as Mark Halen in that spot. Paul Williams, he'll be racing for Starting Park Racing from 12th. JC Evans, 13th from the Ohio State. Then it's Colton Lane. Nathan Deering for Hyperion Racing. Dustin Baumgartner, 16th. McLaughlin and Smith, your top 18. Mike Knight starts 19th. Last driver to set a time, Jacob Dunn. That is a teammate this time for James Morgan. The drivers not setting times, O'Brien, Lemieux, Medina, and Geyer here for this one tonight.
There you go. There is your look top to bottom at this beautiful 24 car field, JP. Now we're going to go a little bit longer, 55 laps instead of 45 laps. And maybe a much, obviously a much different track here. We got a little bit of time left here, JP, before we're ready to go. I think here you're going to ask the key to racing here is going to be patience with the throttle. What I heard all night long when I talked to a couple of drivers was you have to be patient both in the corner and out of the corner. If you step on that gas pedal too hard, you can loop this car around.
So we'll see how this plays out now. Drivers getting themselves positioned towards the starting grid. They're just 10 seconds away from getting the command to roll their cars for said starting grid here this evening. So, what are your keys to victory for Nashville?
Well, as I said, I think the throttle control means a lot here. That's going to matter a lot. We saw some cars in qualifying already having trouble with that, who were kind of really just sideways out of the corners. And so that's going to be a lot, is that throttle control and not being on it too fast. And I think also really just, getting used to racing on concrete. We don't do it enough anymore. There's a very few concrete tracks left, and it's a different surface altogether.
Who's your pick to win it?
Oh gosh, this is such a star-studded field. We talked about some of the new names. Ross Cato is here now. Bradley Holly is back. Jeff Ward is here. Abner Acosta is here. It's so hard to say, so many names to pick. If James O'Brien wasn't in the back of the field, that'd be an obvious pick, but he's not. He's really in the back of the field. I'm gonna go with Ross Cato in the 112.
Happy to have you with us here from iRacing's virtual Nashville Superspeedway. It's the PRL Grand National Series as it kicks off 2024 Season 3. Jeff Ward, Abner Acosta, your front row. Field in the hands of Barney. Green, green, green. Let's go racing for the Music City. Bluegrass Motorsports driver Jeff Ward starts things off solid. Kerr already to second.
Doing a great job here now through 3 and 4. Look at this, the field's already still bunched up and ready to go here. Doing a pretty solid job here. Now almost single file quickly here at Nashville.
Already seeing the rush to get to the bottom. Most drivers have done so except for Thomas Sink and Ross Cato. You do not want to lose the bottom groove here.
No, that's very different from our last race. You're right. When you don't want to lose that groove. Last race, it felt like the top groove may have been your ultimate groove. Here is the bottom. You almost feel like you're at Bristol, where if you get stuck outside, a little choo-choo train will come by, and you could go from 10th to 15th or 10th to 20th without knowing what happened to you.
Looks like the Morgan, your top 5. Kerr has been slowly stalking Jeff Ward down the front straightaway like prey in his pink and purple machine. He looks now to try and charge now behind the Blue Warrior in front.
That purple and pink machine really trying all he can to stay in line with this car and pass him. Now he's going to dig it down into 3. They're going to still say single file. Kerr maybe an 1/8 of a lane higher as he's trying to search for clean air. And now they're going to be almost side by side out of 4.
A peek now to the inside. Kerr wraps down to the apron. Now comes back across the old line. Ward gives 2 lanes of space. Ward backs out of the throttle. Kerr to the race lead for the first time.
This Nexus Esports machine is Zach Kerr now to the lead as he drives down the back straightaway, high lane up against the wall. Now we'll dig it down to the corner to avoid any passing opportunity by Jeff Ward to get the spot back. It's Kerr, Ward, Acosta, Holly, and Morgan, your top 5.
All of them working their way down the front straightaway now. And the one thing to think about here, too, is can some of these drivers save a lot of tire to be able to pounce? A lot of off-throttle times described for this racetrack here tonight.
A lot of off-throttle time described, but it's almost hard to think you're going to dig it down to the bottom of the corner every time, JP, and save those tires. Here we go. Kerr again leads him through here. And as far as I can see, back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars, all single file.
Mind you, several drivers have had some tech issues when it comes to tonight's race. Drivers like Jose Medina, 9 laps down. His pictures start to come back across the racetrack. Michael Lemieux yet to come back from his tech issue. It's been a battle of the tech gremlins for some.
Yeah, battle of the tech gremlins in a lot of ways tonight, right? We've been having them here in the broadcast, been having them in the cars, so This seems to be the theme of the night, if you will. But we're back at Nashville here. Video's back live. See that bright green 12 machine of James Morgan still rocking out here in the top 5. He's trying to make sure he can hold his spot and pick his battles.
About 6 minutes through the action so far. So Daniel Rossa finally found a teammate for James Morgan, Derek.
Yeah, Jacob Dunn not having the best run right now, all the way back in P16. Morgan and Dunn have coordinated not to run the same color. So Dunn's back here in that purple machine, running back with some of the other Whataback drivers, and he's trying to get comfortable. Last week in the preseason race, Dunn nor Morgan finished where they wanted to, but finished side by side, P10 and P11. So Dunn has a lot of work to do in that 3 machine. He wants to get up there with his teammate.
Yeah, trying to pressurize mistakes from Doug Evans. Nearly had a chance already with Evans losing a spot to Dustin Bumgarner. Nothing doing yet. Doug Evans going the wrong way, though. Has gone 8 to 15th over the course of 7 minutes.
Of course, Doug and his son Jeff both racing this thing. Jeff's off on vacation right now, so he'll be back, I think, at Pocono, if I recall right. Then he'll be back with us in the car. So he missed the first race due to his vacation overseas. So just want to say hello to Jeff when he does watch this later tomorrow probably. But here's another beautiful battle. This is Mark Kalin and Ted Lomadick. Mark resigned from Whataback Racing over the offseason, JP. He decided that wanted to kind of do his own thing, do Big Boss Racing, and told the drivers this is kind of to make sure that they felt like the admins were being fair. Not all admins are on the same team. So Mark now off on his own venture.
Gives a little bit of parity in that way, so to speak, I guess. And hey, he's making it clear with the paint scheme, it's just me, oh me, and not just the Cougar in the front seat like Talladega Nights.
I was almost thinking like we're at Nashville. I was thinking like the Toby Keith I Want to Talk About Me song is what came to mind when I saw that paint scheme. You want to sing it for us?
I don't know the lyrics, thank you though.
Oh, that's too bad. I want to talk about number 1. Oh my, me, my. Yeah, there's the song right there. Thank you, Dustin Allis, our producer in my ear, is helping along there. But yeah, it's a beautiful battle of Ted Lowendick and Mark Kalin right there. This is for 6th and 7th. Then it's Thomas Sink, Ross Cato back there in P9, regular on Monday nights on Race Spot for part of Real Sim Racing. And then Adam Zimke rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, it was a lot of different shuffles when it comes to this field right now, especially in the mid-pack. There's that mid-pack shuffle. Lane into the wall goes the banana yellow 37.
It's Nick McLaughlin.
Yeah, big pop to the wall. Changed his color palette for this season. And already picking up some contact.
Yeah, Nick's out here, of course, with Whataback, part of that big group. The races here into the smaller teams, and so we'll see how he does here. Now 37, now side by side with J.C. Evans where he was, and Evans got back ahead here. So now here we are. We're already working lap 18. We've been green flagged the whole way, JP. And I think that if this stays green, tires will be the bigger story than the gas.
Interesting choice, by the way, for the back bumper. I think they went with Catwoman this year, question mark, as Jeff Halle Berry, apparently.
Who I believe was Catwoman at one point in the Michael Keaton Batman movies? I'd have to look this up.
2 decades ago, give or take, movies.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was Michael Keaton Batman movies. I'd have to see what happened here, but that might be Michelle Pfeiffer. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not IMDb. This is not my specialty. Here's Mike Knight on board here, though. A nice view here. This is right behind Nick McLaughlin. Oh, this is a shot of that bumper you want to see. If we could get someone tell Mike to get up there closer.
Yeah, interesting choices for this season. That's all I'll say to the bumper for the 37. But hey, at least it keeps the driver's attention in front. Mike Knight not having the greatest of starts tonight. Ross Cato, he's trying to gain back some of the ground lost. He's one of the drivers to the cup side.
Yep, there he is back there in at P9. We'll say in mind, while up front you're not missing anything. It's the same as it has been. Kerr, Ward, Acosta. So if anything changes, we'll go back to the front. We're going to feature a lot of the field here, so we're going to try to move around the field in this broadcast and spend some time. So P8, P9, Thomas Sink, and Ross Cato here. And there we go. Look at that battle. That Ford machine's going to try to dig to the inside of the 48.
Sink keeping the sponsors 12th he picked up at the end of last season. Cato nearly pushed up into him. Had to keep it off the contact. And Ross Cato not able to find a way around yet.
Nope, not a way to find a way yet. Sink's doing a pretty great job here of holding on and just trying to pick the battle. Sink, of course, one of the many Illinois natives I feel like we have across the field of the Truck and Grand National Series. We were kind of looking over the roster today. I feel like I saw Illinois come up a lot here. So I don't know if it's something in the water there or if it's boredom of nothing to do in Illinois, or I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of sim racers in Illinois apparently.
Nathan Deering, meanwhile, he goes to the outside of Colton Lane. Interesting choices here for the battle for 11th to use the outside as an aggressor.
Well, if you can make it work, more power to you for Nathan Deering, part of Hyperion Racing. And he does make it work. That'll make you feel good. That'll boost your confidence. That'll make you feel like you got muscles on that car. And he passes by Colton Lane pretty easily here. That'll make you feel good. It'll boost your confidence. And right now you're ready to take on the world if you're Nathan Deering.
Yeah, right now up 4 spots so far tonight. One of your bigger movers, Jacob Dunn, is up 5. Here's Paul Williams the second, by the way. Dustin Bumgardner trying to get a better run on him. This is currently for 13th.
This is a great battle for 13th here. And look at that. Bumgardner now is going to try a little boot, scoot, and boogie and try and get under that car here into turn 3. Not going to keep it there, is he? Maybe he is. Let's find out.
Looks like he will keep it underneath there, but not enough to make the pass yet. It's so tricky, as we touched upon on making a pass. The longer we go, the harder it's going to get.
Oh, yeah, we're going to wear some tires off here, Ed. We won't probably get the numbers from most of the teams of what their tires were or will be when they pit here. But we'll wait and see in a moment, or in a few laps, to say what those tires look like if we stay green here. So we're going to keep green here on lap 25. We're back to radio mode here. And it's still Kerr, Ward, Acosta, Holly, Morgan, Lowendick, Kalen, Sink, Cato, and Zimke, your top 10.
So again, we apologize for the technical issues across the track, but right now, Zach Kerr, to talk about him yet again, rocket ship so far. Right now, 4/10 up. He is right now getting reeled in slightly by Jeff Ward and Abner Acosta. How long does the long run pace last? That's going to be a long question. Already 26 laps into the tires. This time by as Kerr works his way through 1 and 2.
Right now, like about Kerr and what his pace is, he's not pulling away. He's really almost tempering himself a little bit to make sure he saves as much as possible. Sometimes in these races, you'll see your leader pull away and really put a gap on the field. And I often wonder why. If you don't need that gap, don't use it. But Kerr's doing a great job here. But really the battle right now is JP is second and third, Acosta and Ward.
Yeah, right now, those three are all bundled up together down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. Acosta charging hard for the high side. Tries to get a bit of a diamond line down as he closes the car lane for the back straightaway to Ward.
Yeah, doing a great job here. Ward's really maintaining his line, trying to make that bumper as wide as humanly possible and keeping Acosta at bay. Abner, of course, a multi-time race winner in PRL.
Just made the pass for 5th on James Morgan.
Yeah, Lowendick doing a great job. Lowendick a year ago was seen as a road course specialist, JP, and I think everyone kind of scoffed at the idea of Teddy coming out here and racing the ovals, but he has earned that respect as being one of the top competitors.
Yeah, he's really improved. Lowendick has when it comes to his ability on the ovals. Before, he was mid-pack, then top 10. Now he's a top 5 threat every week in this series. But the battle is on for second. Acosta's just taken the spot from Jeff Ward down the back straightaway.
So now it is Kerr, Acosta, Ward in that order for your top 3. Now down through 3 and 4. And Acosta, now we'll see if he can take that that machine with the new team name. They had a merger of teams over their offseason, and see if he can somehow get back to the front.
How long is it going to take is a huge question, I think, for many people now. They're working their way down the back straightaway as the race runners. Again, Kerr up by 6/10. That gap had been shrinking significantly. Now, Acosta looking to push. Pictures starting to come back across the racetrack. Jeff Ward looking impressive on his debut for this series tonight for the first time in a long while.
Yeah, I mean, even the top three, as you said, very, very impressive here. But there's Acosta in P2, and that yellow and black machine private label. Now going to try to run down your leader. Now we'll see if Kerr had the pace, or maybe if he just had the pace because of the battle for second. So we'll see if Acosta can close up. But here again is Jeff Ward, that 89 machine, that blue car right in front of you, having a great run here. So it's Kerr, Acosta, Ward, Holly, Lowendick, your top five.
36 minutes still on the clock here tonight. Right now, Bradley Hawley still quietly has been running up there. You know who's been starting to pick up some of the ground is Mark Kalin. He's having an impressive race, still in 7th.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those tracks where I think Mark will do well if we stay green. Mark sometimes is a more conservative driver, not the fastest on the track, and it pays off in a time like this, JP, because you're not the fastest, you're not doing all those moves, you're not burning all those tires, and eventually it pays off. But look at this. This is Sink, Kato, Zimke, Nathan Deering, and Colton Lane. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 right there. And that's Mark Kalin in front of all of them. So he's doing a great job.
Kato still has not been able to make the pass, though. Why do you think that may be with how he's been side by side nearly off and on for 10 minutes now?
Well, you know, I've talked about how the bottom lane really is the dominant one here, about how the bottom lane, the faster lane. But there it is. There's the pass. And sometimes I think it's just feeling confident and knowing what you need to do. But Ross Cato, a very, very accomplished iRacer, makes the pass here now into P8. But now going to be challenged again here by Sink here. You see Cato on the bottom here. Sorry, my number's backwards. But you're right, Cato's having a hard time with that bottom pass. I think he needs to track out higher. It's what we talked about earlier, I think, in the last race, about space being left. Watch this here. He's going to get down to the bottom as Cato. He's going to be here with Sink. Sink's squeezing a little bit this time, but watch the difference in how they track out. Look at that space there. You could have less space there and get more speed out of the corner if you're Ross Cato.
Now Sink able to defend successfully. You know who's also trying to high side for passes now? Nathan Deering is in this pack and able to get to 10th around Zemke.
And that's really, by me, the only person we've seen really be dominant on the outside so far is Nathan Deering. And it's just something he found. Remember, these are fixed setups. No one has a different setup. No one has, anything different under the hood. Nathan Deering has sort of figured it out on his own. Maybe he's moved the brake bias, or maybe he's done something very minor with the in-car adjustments. But you're right, he is dominant. That's the second or third pass I've seen him make on the outside today.
Trying it yet again. Back in line he goes this time, not able to make the pass, so back to the drawing board. Ross Cato still holds on to 9th. So we have stayed green this entire race. When do drivers think about pitting?
I mean, you know me, JP, I'm a pretty symmetrical person. I think halfway, these tires are screaming, these tires are hurting, these tires are upset. So as soon as you get right about to the halfway point, so 55 minutes to 25, about 27 and a half minutes to go. So in about, 6 minutes from now, I think you'll see pit road be the busiest place in Tennessee.
Yeah, a lot of fall off potentially for these drivers to have to consider here already. 1.4 seconds across the field. Ted Lowendick, he's under pressure again. James Morgan for the move.
This is the battle we saw earlier happen the opposite way when Lowendick was trying to pass Morgan. Now Morgan, look at that, is dominant on the inside. He's got up under it and made the pass, now slides it up here. And Lowendick's not going to try for the crossover, so they'll stick just right there in that order. Man, there's Deering loose off the corner. Look at that car slide up that track there, JP. That was a moment. Now, the offset to that thing I talked about pitting right now, the pit window's open. You could pit from here, and you could make it the rest of the way. Listen, if you're in Nathan Deering and you're stuck in traffic right here, maybe you want to pit a lap early. Maybe you want to pit 2 laps early and get out of this traffic, get some clean air. In fact, here we go. Here's our first pitter. It's Paul Williams II, part of Start and Park down pit road.
A bold call here with 32 minutes to go. This battle has not let up, meanwhile. 15th is still a wrestling match. Make it 14th. Dunn yet to find a way around. They've lost 3 seconds of the rest of the field. They fought so hard.
Yeah, that's what's happening. They're all side by side and all bunched up, so they're going to lose time in the field. But they're having a blast back there. Oh, man, there's a car spinning to the inside. Was that JC Evans, I think I saw?
Yes, it was, but able to keep it straight. Able to keep it from going to the grass either. Jose Medina, he is 9 laps down and is also in this pack.
Yeah, Jose Medina is back there. Here comes Williams off pit road. So for a few laps, JP, he's going to be the dominant machine. He's going to have those dominant tires, and he'll pass cars so easily. And it's only going to frustrate his opponents because they're going to want new tires. So we'll see if they stick to the plan, or after getting passed by Paul Williams, do they sort of, abort, and think those new tires look so much fun.
12 pitting this time by. James Morgan just said, I'm going to come down and join the pit party. So does anyone else tap out with him? 45 laps his run here. It looks like it's going to be a pretty smooth entry. 57 estimated laps to go.
Yeah, so almost halfway from Morgan. I'd like to see it a little closer to halfway, but listen, he might think that maybe that battle with Lowendick wasn't worth it. Maybe he thought he was giving up too much or wanted to get out of the way, so that he's going to come down at pit road here. Look at that, Nathan Deering to the inside for the first time in a while. Sort of stuck down there, getting passed by the 112. That's Ross Cato. And now Cato is making that move on the outside. Now so is, I believe, Adam Zemke.
Zemke trying to poke back high side again, wants a spot back, not going to get it quite yet. So 30 minutes to go, and a big checkup from Cato.
Man, I can't imagine what these drivers are going through right now, JP, because I know this track is bumpy, it's abrasive, it's rough, and it is difficult to drive on. Of all the tracks I can think of in iRacing, where if just driving around, you can feel the bumps in your force feedback, this track must be top, 3 in my head of just how rough this track is to drive on.
Yeah, it can be teeth shattering depending on your force feedback settings, absolutely. And it requires... Go ahead.
Good. I was thinking, of course, first is, Old Daytona. This might be second as far as ovals, as far as just how bumpy it is across the track.
Yeah, I can see it, absolutely. And remember, that's partly because of it not being used for so long, but also it's concrete. Much different feel, different tire parameters, as Paul Williams zips his way around the outside of traffic on the freshies.
And there's been a little bit of a campaign from some drivers to talk about that R word, that R word being repave. But a lot of drivers say, no, that bumpiness, and that gives this track that character and that everything they need to race on it. But here comes more people down pit road. I think I see a Mark Kalen's going to come down. Doug Evans is going to come down. There's Kalen right there, spins it, slides it, and safe. Wow, that was, I don't know if baseball's in season, but that was a great slide there on the home plate.
How about that indeed? Locks up the right front, slides in baseball style, and just avoids speeding. Doug Evans also in. Hearing that some drivers making near contact as well in the pack as they get ready for pit stops. Dustin Baumgartner making up ground. There comes a pit stop for Jeff Ward.
Much safer pit stop than what Mark Kalen did, but you're right. The impressive part, look at that 3 wide. Hold on, 3 wide. That is now a mix of old tires and new tires. And look, that's the difference right there. That's the visual. Look here, Morgan's on new tires. He's passing Colton Lane. He's passing others. He's going to pass Zemke here, and even Deering. And look how easy it is. That's the power of new tires. And when you see someone pass you like that as a driver, it's just so frustrating because in your mind you're on the right strategy. You want to wait. You want to have a strategy. But man, when Morgan does that to you, it just eats you alive. Oh, hold on.
Thomas Sink spins into pit road, just in front of the yellow commitment cone. And that's going to cost him a lot of time of the racetrack. Pit party time. Also amongst those now in. A quiet night for Bradley Holly. Now, who comes in out of these drivers? Not yet for Kerr, not yet for Acosta.
I'll tell you what, their Sink's night may have been sunk by that no penalty, but all the time lost is going to be bad for him. Here comes someone who missed pit road. No, he didn't. I apologize. I was wrong, JP. I thought for sure Deering had passed by the entrance points, but he got it turned in there, and Deering's now down pit road.
Just able to turn on in on top of the paint. So these two continue to stay on their own. Acosta is coming in. This could be for the race lead here with this pit call. Acosta keeping it semi-conservative.
Yeah, doing a great job. He's going to try basically the undercut. Not something we talk about a lot in ovals. Usually you and I talk about it when we cover like the super formulas on Thursdays or maybe even the prototypes on Mondays, but right now, that's going to be the move he's going to try. It's going to put Zach Kerr out here by himself. What Abner's hoping for is that when he comes back on track, he has that clean air, and maybe he makes up all this time. But here comes Kerr down pit road one lap later to see if he can mitigate that plan.
A bit more aggressive. Again, Nexus Esports, one of the top teams in all of NASCAR competition. This season, our RTP partnering with Front Row Motorsports with some of the work connections there, Derek. That's seen them have several drivers in contention for wins there. Ted Lowendick, he's right now in contention here, yet to come in. We've also picked up a speeding on pit exit. Mikey Smith will have to return to pit road.
That's a hard penalty under green to get. As you had, it's going to be I believe a stop and hold for Mikey Smith for that speeding penalty. So pretty hard for him. But right now, Lowendick leads. Jacob Dunn's in second. Dalton Geyers in third. They're the last three not to pit. They're the group that's basically praying for the yellow here. See what, if they can maintain or mitigate what they're going to lose by needing a pit here. But here's Morgan looking at all that track ahead of him. That's got to be the cleanest track we've seen all night long.
New black flag on track. Nick McLaughlin, unsafe pit exit. He crossed the blue line by more than 3 car lengths. He'll come in with a teammate.
Oh, Kerr back out.
Oh, and that's a spin for Ted.
That's only going to make that worse, but that's hard to see. They were 3 wide right there with your potential leader, Zach Kerr, was 3 wide on the bottom. He backed out of that, by the way, and now they've got it single file, and he'll keep making those passes here. That's Paul Williams right behind him, and Bradley Holly right in front of him.
But the pit cycle just about closed out. 3 car coming in this time, and Jacob Dunn. Dalton Geyer will be the last yet to pit here in this race. So there's a look at Dunn. He comes in for the scheduled service. A little bit too hot, but able to lock it down at least for a straight line. That leaves Dalton Geyer rolling the dice in front.
That camera shot of Jacob Dunn reminds me, and this is for any driver we've seen do it, Abner Acosta earlier and others, that practicing your pit entry is so important, JP, because there's time to be gained and lost on your pit entries, and Dunn pushed it right to the last second before getting on the brakes. If you brake too soon, you can lose 2, 3, 4 seconds of on-track time.
He's coming in now, Dalton Geyer is. So this will close out the pit run right here. Your leader on track, James Morgan, will be this time by, able to take that spot. How long, though, was a question, because 5 lap older tires compared to the field here has him up by 2.8 seconds.
That is impressive to see, isn't it? To see that Morgan's up front. He really cycled back through here. You see Kerr's back in 5th. Abner's in 3rd. So those are the leaders before the cycle began. So as you said, maybe Morgan figured it out. Maybe that clean air he got from pitting early has benefited him. But don't look now. Here comes Zach Kerr.
He wants his spots back inside right now of Bradley Holly. Holly, somewhat older tires. Kerr, freshest tires out of the lead pack, able to get the run and take back a spot. That's for 4th.
Look at that. Look how hard Holly is fighting him, by the way. Holly is not letting Kerr track out all the way as you'd like to talk about. Ollie really sort of stifled Kerr there for a corner and made it life difficult. But now Kerr has made the pass and will keep moving in that 42 machine and his trek back to the front of the field.
Doug Evans, meanwhile, is trekked up to 10th on strategy on the old tires. A lot of fresh tires right behind him. That battle box all the way back to 16th.
Yeah, look at this beautiful set of cars here. It's Evans, Lane, Bumgardner, Zimke, Evans, O'Brien, and Thomas Sink here. Sink, of course, back here due to that wild entrance he had on pit road. And it really lost a lot of time there. But 21 minutes left, almost about 22 minutes even, actually, JP, on the clock here. And so far, we are caution-free.
Green flag all the way so far as Bumgardner tries the diamond line. Trying to get the run on Colton Lane. He's been doing well as this race has progressed. He wants that spot. Lane gave it to him previously.
Yeah, and what you're willing to give someone with 40 minutes left and what you're willing to give them with 20 minutes left is a little different. Don't expect Lane to be maybe quite as courteous here about giving up a spot. But here's Abner Acosta and Zach Kerr. Acosta ahead of Kerr, by the way. But this is now third and fourth. This was your battle for first and second, but they flip-flopped, JP. It was Kerr leading Acosta. Now it's Acosta leading Kerr.
And now Kerr seems to have the better pace on the slightly fresher tires. They both close in on both Ward and Morgan too. And lap traffic ahead on top of it. Kerr seems better on the run through Apex off right now. No place to poke yet.
No place to poke, but he's, man, thinking about it. He was almost all over the back bumper of Abner Acosta, was that Zach Kerr. Now they're going to be side by side, and that was a huge wiggle by Kerr because he tried to use that banking, JP, and I thought he was going to lose that car.
Tried to flat-foot it down on the apron, didn't stick, and now forced to reset again. Now they're within 0.6 of a second to Jeff Ward.
Now the question is, how much time do they spend battling Ward? How much time do they spend battling any lapped cars that may eventually be in the way? And how much could that benefit James Morgan? Because, I mean, 5 lap older tires in the grand scheme of things won't matter that much once everything levels off. Morgan just needs to hope that it takes long enough to pass these cars that things have leveled off behind him. But he's doing a great job here. Look at the lap differences here. Acosta, 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second. So Morgan has to know he's under pressure.
A lot of pressure now because everybody's gaining on him on the old tires. 20 laps through the run. Several of those who tried that strategy slipping back fast, like Paul Williams second. Ross Cato just jumped up.
Yep, great battle back here as well. But back to the lead for the moment here, because this is getting closer and closer as Acosta and Kerr are catching Jeff Ward.
Now a peek from Kerr. Acosta trying the double diamond. Didn't get it to plant, though. And now lap traffic point of factor booms out of the way. Mike Knight hits the parachute. Lets Jeff Ward alongside of the battle for the race lead near contact.
Yeah, he wanted to get out of the way, but sometimes as a lapped car, when you try and get out of the way, you only end up being more in the way. Look at this. He's going to prevent Acosta from tracking out all the way. That won't be a detriment to Acosta's whole race, but for a lap or so, it's going to slow Acosta down because he wasn't able to get all the way out to the wall like he wants to. And, man, look at Kerr again, almost all over the back bumper of Abner Acosta.
For the race lead, tire age on screen. Oldest tires up at front, losing the lead to Jeff Ward. The 5-lap undercut from some of the drivers now going to be put up to the test. Jeff Ward to the race lead. Here comes Acosta for second.
Acosta thought about it for a second. Now he's going to get under there again. Going to try to get under Morgan here through the corner and try to hold that line consistently. Now, you and I talked about how the bottom lane is dominant here and how you can get freight trained if you open that door, which is what happened to Morgan. He's going to go from first to fourth right here.
Drops him back now. Kerr able to drive by 2, so Morgan starts his descent. How long can Jeff Ward defend now, Derek?
That's a great question, right? Is how long can he defend? How much tire does he spend defending? or how much time does Abner Acosta spend attacking this battle right here. Now up ahead you do see some lapped cars. Then that was Nick McLaughlin will be the next one we're going to approach here. That'll probably take 2 or 3 laps, so not an immediate concern. But anytime a lap car is in play, chaos can happen.
Paul Williams continues to descend himself, by the way, on some of the oldest tires, in fact, the oldest in the field. Nathan Deering able to jump up to 8th position there. Colton Lane next up. Oh, in trouble for Deering. He slaps the wall.
Yeah,
All
that will not help.
Yeah, that's not going to help indeed, but the race lead, it's now getting fierce. Acosta on the bumper of Ward takes a peek.
And listen, what I love about the parity we're seeing here in the Grand National Series right now, JP, look at the drivers up front. It's Ward, it's Acosta, it's Kerr, it's Morgan. 4 drivers, 4 teams. There's no team dominating right now in the first race. It's everyone sort of for themselves, as Acosta's not going to try and make the pass. And I thought for sure was going to bump Ward, but makes the pass clean. But man, Zach Kerr is still all over the back end of Abner Acosta.
No place to take the run. Can't really go 3 wide here. Acosta gets clear. And now the fight's on for second.
And Acosta wants to get up there, and there he goes. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to clear all the way, but he does. Gets up there and clear, and now he's good. And now it's going to be up to Ward to try to get around him. And then up to Kerr to make the pass here. About 15, 16 minutes to go here. So time is quickly ticking away, depending upon your point of view here. If you're Abner Acosta, it can't tick by fast enough. If you're Zach Kerr, it feels like you're running double time.
And Jeff Ward's not really giving space to Kerr here. This is going to hurt him in his pursuit for this race, Lynn. Lap traffic ahead's already indicated pit stops coming up here. So Kerr able to jump up to second. And now, can he regain the time lost?
Yeah, that'll be the question right now, is what's going to happen and how can he capitalize on what he's just been given here by Jeff Ward, because Jeff Ward didn't sort of give that spot away, but he kind of stopped fighting. He decided just to let it go and let Kerr get up here and fight for it.
He is trying to charge these corner entries hard. Speaking of drivers trying to charge hard, Dunn, after his several slides through, is able to get up to 16th.
1 point through the pit cycle was up as high as P2, but settling back into P16 here. And really, as much as we're excited for Morgan to have a teammate this season, we got to get them closer together. Right now, it feels like Morgan has friends in low places.
Adam Zemke, James O'Brien coming from the back after technical issues. He's been able to slowly reel his way through the pack after having to essentially start dead last.
Yeah, James O'Brien's a superstar. I've seen James race multiple cars, multiple different leagues, and always seems to do well. And, whether it be coming from the front, coming from the back, whatever he does, he performs well. Look at that handling of that car, though. Look at those hands there with those yellow highlighter gloves. You saw him just having to wrestle that car to get it to behave. Now he's down into 1.
Up to 12 in the 33 private label backed/sponsored machine. Right now up 9 spots, one of your biggest movers. His fellow compatriot, who runs the Precision Racing banner, Acosta. He's right now still up by 2/10.
Yeah, doing a great job. So the question from YouTube chat right now is, do we think that Kerr is preserving enough tires? I don't know. These guys have both ran pretty hard since they come off pit road to get where they are. Maybe Kerr is preserving, but I think more so Kerr is hoping that this lap traffic plays a factor in the next 13 minutes.
Still 24 laps to go, so there is time to preserve, Derek.
I mean, there's still time to conserve to a certain extent, but, with the potential of our first caution added in and what could happen, I don't know if there's that much time left here. The point of no return is only about 8 minutes away. So that time is quickly just slipping away here. And you're going to have to really get on it here and get moving if you're Zach Kerr, just so you know you've secured that spot.
Meanwhile, The tire difference continues for Paul Williams. He's been reeled on in by Bumgardner in that entire rest of that pack.
Yeah, I think Paul Williams was the first one we saw pit a little off cycle, so I'm not surprised he's getting run down now because the difference in tires, as you said, about 10 laps, and that will matter as this race goes on. 10 lap newer tires can always make a difference here for Paul Williams or anyone in the field.
12 minutes to work with, 22 laps to go. So, Bumgardner, you see him getting the better corner exits right now. Paul Williams running a tenth or two off the tempo of everyone else. Opens up the inside, Bumgardner takes the inside.
And does a great job at least keeping side by side here and tracks it out pretty well. Not too much space there. Maybe could have a little bit more tracking out, but compared to some other passes we've seen tonight, it's a pretty good job by the 16. Now he'll dig back down to the bottom of 3 and 4. He'll try and get that momentum and likely make the pass to be darn near close to doing it out of 4.
Yeah, but they also have James O'Brien who wants to go places very quickly. Likes to help Bumgardner keep it safe. And here comes O'Brien now looking for the top 10 here with a peak.
Yep, doing that indeed. And a little bit of wiggle for Williams up top and not let O'Brien in. Now O'Brien's going to try to run down the 16 here. Let's see how that can fare here. Just under 11 minutes on the clock. We're keeping an eye on that because it is a timed race, JP. So we're now about 5 minutes from that point of no return where if a caution is going to happen, it needs to happen soon or the race will be over.
Yeah, no space yet to work with for O'Brien. O'Brien, mind you, at the moment is one of the quick cars of the track. He's quicker than James Morgan, but he is on somewhat older tires here. He's been boxed in for a long time too.
That will make a difference here in how your car feels, how the tire feels, how your mentality feels, everything here. But Morgan has fallen back by, 5, 6, 7 seconds since he led earlier. So there is Jacob Dunn, by the way, making a pass on Doug Evans, or trying to, for 14th and 15th. I thought Dunn had sort of dug into the inside. But I think that camera shot deceived me for a second.
8-lap tire difference there as Dunn able to make the pass pretty quickly. Able to jump up to 14th. Adam Zemke looking for 12th spot, takes it himself.
Man, look at that. Look at the difference here, how just different that car is. Remember where that car was the first to pit there, that car being the 7 of Paul Williams, second. And now just having a very hard time keeping equal pace with everyone else in the field here. So that shows you just that that's the risk you take. That's the risk versus reward game. You know, you play hoping to get something out of it, but it may cost you in the long run.
This is all 15 seconds back later. You see the big difference now on the tire cycle. Half a second quicker than Paul Williams is on the oldest tires.
Yeah, that's just, that's partially just the pure talent of Abner Acosta showing through right there. I mean, there's no surprise there that, Acosta is still setting faster laps and doing great work here.
Acosta, by the way, he started to fall off here. This was right around Acosta's time where he started to chip away a bit at Kerr's gap. He's doing so right now by about a tenth a lap right now.
Yeah, that clean air seems to be benefiting Abner Acosta in his driving style because he is really just walking away from Zach Kerr here. You see every red number you see in the bottom of the screen, that's Abner Acosta making that gap bigger and bigger. We're at the point where I could almost probably park at least a good minivan in there, if not maybe a short school bus.
15 estimated laps to go, mind you. Kerr might need a caution to have a chance here.
Oh, I think everyone needs a caution unless Acosta slips up somewhere. Acosta would have this in the bag short of something weird happening, I would think. I don't see how anything different could be true unless that yellow comes out or Acosta slips up in a corner. But he is walking away with this. Sort of like how they're walking in Memphis, Justin Prince. Abner Acosta is walking away in Nashville.
Here comes the run now for O'Brien. He's getting a little bit impatient. He's looking high side, low side, every line so far, Derek. O'Brien's getting impatient.
Yeah, O'Brien here. I'll keep the references going. O'Brien's almost at the point of saying, hey, Jesus, take the wheel and make this work for me. I'm having a hard time doing it myself.
Yeah, they're running hard on time as well. 7 minutes to work with. What does O'Brien do to get this done after trying all these different lines?
I think now he's got to just put the pressure on. Let's play the mental game on Bumgarner. Let's not make the move per se. Let's let Bumgarner think we're going to make the move. Get up on his bumper, race him hard, don't hit him. Let Bumgarner get nervous and see if he sort of rattles himself out of the way.
He is being rattled off the bottom at least, but O'Brien still can't get the rotation down after all these bubbles.
O'Brien almost found the wall right there. Almost found it. Got it saved at the very last second. That car is swinging every which way but loose. And watch it again here. That time he did better, but man, out of the 1 and 2 last time, I thought that car went all the way to the wall before he got a hold of it.
Bit of a kick out this time for O'Brien, but again, forced to park it. Bumgarner, worse off corner exit.
And this is the point where O'Brien's got to make a decision. Not that O'Brien's a dirty driver or a mean driver or an aggressive driver, but at a certain point you've got to decide that if he's going to keep parking in front of you, you might have to use the chrome horn to sort of send a message here. Don't spin him, don't bump him, don't wreck him. Don't do anything egregious. So sort of that one nudge can say so many things. It's almost a universal sign language for racing. That one bumper nudge, JP, can say a lot of different things.
Coming up to 10 estimated laps to go, about 5 minutes to go on the clock, mind you. It's been an interesting one. Green the whole way. Now Paul Williams all the way back to 13th. Looking to hold on, but not going to hold on for too long.
Yeah, Jacob Dunn's making a very slow climb through the field, hoping to take 13th place here from Paul Williams. Got Ted Lowendick right behind him. The bigger surprise of this trio is Lowendick right there, back in 15th. This is abnormally low for Ted Lowendick.
Remember, he did have that spin on his pit entry. That cost him a ton of time.
Yeah, I'm just more surprised to see that Lowendick just sort of kind of biding his time. Maybe just knows he doesn't want to be the cause of anything here. But sort of biding his time, trying to see when he can make something happen. But right now, it's Lowendick, or not Lowendick, sorry, it's Dunn and Williams ahead of him. But now Dunn has completed the pass.
Now way up the racetrack goes the 7. He might be at risk of losing a lap here. Mark Kalin, Ross Cato for 6th.
It's a great battle here. Mark in that solo machine, the Big Boss Racing here, trying to see if he can beat Cato to the line. Doesn't matter this time, but he wants to know what's possible. So about 4 minutes that they need to make that race to the end, know what line he needs to take.
Here, there might have been a moving of the 16 because O'Brien appears to have found a way around after pressurizing some contact with the 16, we're hearing. We'll see what this looks like here. He's getting loose regardless, and then they definitely made contact here.
Yep, and there was a little bit of contact on that back bumper to sort of, O'Brien, I think unintentionally sort of hit him and swept up at the same time and created that contact. And you see another car, one of the Whatabacks try to get in there and get part of that battle as well. So lots happening here in this moment. About 3.5 minutes to go. We're obviously beyond the point of no return. Checkered flag or caution flag. Next one ends the race here. Here's the 33 machine on your screen, trying to hold off some competitors and do it successfully so far.
Meanwhile, Ted Lowendick trying to recover some spots and some points before this one wraps up as well. Having to deal with some lap traffic too. Lowendick looking, running the bottom.
Did a great job there, sort of almost forcing Jacob Dunn up. Didn't touch him, just sort of, also didn't give way. So nice job there. So Lowendick will claim P13. Now he'll try to drive away here, about 2.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, running low on time as they go for the crossover battle back and forth. Looks like Ted will hold on for now, but Acosta leading now by 1.5 seconds. That's with 4 estimated laps to go. He's gone, and he has been much better long run as this race has now progressed.
Yeah, doing a great job as Acosta just walked away with this. Just really, at one point was in that battle with Zach Kerr, and I don't know what changed between the two, or if Kerr used up more tires, or I don't know what happened. But right now, look at that. I mean, that's massive.
But we've seen this before. Acosta plays the long run game, out-strategizes somebody, bam, runs away, long run on the second run.
Yeah, it's something Acosta's is great at here. And right now, just a slow, kind of quiet, peaceful ride here. Just have to say, life is a highway for Abner Acosta right now.
Going to be living that all night long. Here with under 90 seconds to work with, expecting possibly 2 to go here. We'll see what they look like in terms of deltas. This time around, it's going to be close.
Yeah, very close here. About 1:13 on the clock. So I suspect 2 to go. Next time by will be the white, next time by should be the white flag. Yeah, is what I would suspect here for Abner. Right now, he's just kind of hoping for that. But we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. And oh, I think I heard a car spinning somewhere, but I think it's all safe. No yellow. And Abner Acosta keeps moving.
No spinnies, but looks like we'll get an extra lap here based on the delta. Acosta, 44 seconds as somebody almost spun on the front straightaway. That was Dalton Geyer.
Yeah, Dalton had a very big, scary moment there that would have ended the race had it happened. So in a way, Abner may have been hoping for it, but not going to get it here. So 25 seconds on the clock. Here's Paul Williams slow on the track, JP. So I don't know if he had a moment by himself or what happened, but he's now going to get lapped with 2 to go.
He got help from Doug Evans, but no caution. Coming to the white flag this time. Yeah, this was help.
Oh, hello. My goodness.
Apologies on the radio, but that was point blank.
Yeah, it should be apologies from race control for that. But here we go. White flag last time for Abner Acosta.
Acosta once again shows why he's the king of the long run when it comes to this series. Through to 3 and 4 for the final time. Abner Acosta will take the checker flag and win in the Grand National Series. He kicks off the season in style in the Music City. Second spot, Zach Kerr. Jeff Ward rounds out the podium. And some bumping and banging back there. Colton Lane, Nathan Deering making contact.
I'll tell you what, JP, when Zach Kerr looks back on this race and remembers he led this race for a while and then sort of gave it up to Acosta, he might be frustrated, might just want to think this is just something to take back to the drawing board to play with. But right now, Acosta is just a race winner again. Get a small bump there. Congrats from Jeff Ward.
Celebrations on for Acosta, though. He'll be smiling about this run as he gets ready to burn it on down here. Celebration time for Abner Acosta. He gets it done in car number 5. Take a chance to look at the unofficial race results. As in the end, Abner Acosta gets the win. He does it by 2 seconds over Kerr, 4 seconds over Ward. Holly and Morgan, your top 5. Cato, Kalen, Lane, Deering, O'Brien, your top 10 in this one. 16 seconds the spread. Semke and Bumgardner, 11th and 12th. Lowendick, Dunn, Sink, Doug Evans, J.C. Evans, Geyer, all in the lead lap. Getting moved around was Paul Williams, the second in the final stages. He finishes 19th over Mike Knight. 21st spot went to McLaughlin, Smith, Medina, and no start for Lemieux here tonight. That's a look top to bottom in this one here. Derek, your thoughts on the race as we wait to see what the drivers have to say.
I mean, unfortunately, it looked like it was very hard to pass out there. So once Abner Acosta got to the front, he just sort of held on to it. But as you said, the king of long runs took his throne back tonight and set a pretty dominant, position for Season 3, Race 1.
Abner Acosta is now standing alongside. Abner, how would you describe this win to start off the season?
Love that it was a green flag run the whole way. I was able to save some tires and win. It was definitely really difficult with Zach and Jeff. They were very fast. So, but glad I was able to push it off.
What was the strategy process like, knowing you had the long run pace in hand, but had to be battling with Zach Kerr a fair bit in this one?
Yeah, I think if he came out in front of me after the pit cycle, I think it would have been really hard for me to get by him. Just because on the first stint when I was behind him, I was sort of catching him, but I don't know if it's the dirty air or what. It's like we were trading laps, so definitely the big turnaround there was me getting ahead of him on that pit cycle and kind of just maintaining it.
Pocono up next. Your thoughts on going Pocono?
I like Pocono. I don't know if I like Pocono in this car, so we'll find out.
Any shout outs you like to give tonight?
James for getting a top 10. I think he messed up. I had to start from the pit, so that was good for him. And Connor for spotting there for a little bit. You guys are racing today, and PRL for in the lead. Thank you.
Abner Acosta gets the win here tonight. He does so by 2 seconds. Zach Kerr is with Derek.
Well, Zach, you started off this race really strong, and even up through the pit stops was ahead of Abner Acosta, but after the pit stops, he got ahead of you. What happened?
I think the one lap undercut really benefited him to get the fresh tires before me to put the faster lap in, just to jump me that little bit, which then coming out the pits behind him, I had dirty air, and obviously I think I pushed my tires a little bit too much and couldn't gain them in at the end.
Yeah, so a great strong run for the first week here for you on behalf of Nexus Esports. Great job there. We take a week off and then we go to Pocono. What are your expectations for that track?
I have no clue because I don't even own it, so it'll be a learning thing for me coming into it.
Well, good news with the American holiday break. You'll get 2 weeks to learn it, so you'll have plenty of time there. But great job in 42 tonight. Your first time, at least in these cars, I think in a while, if ever, in PRL, correct?
Yes. I've ran another league in these cars, but it's first time running in this league.
All right. Well, listen, great run tonight. Happy to see you here. Anyone you want to say thank you or give a shout out to?
I'm going to give a good thanks to the Nexus guys. Those guys are obviously up the top for NASCARs and really got me up to my pace today. And a massive thanks to the Hyperion guys for egging me on to run the series.
Well, there you go. Well, Zach, listen, great job tonight. It was a pleasure to see you. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Thank you all.
All right, that's Zach Kerr, driver of the 42, finishing P2.
Running at the top 3 tonight, Jeff Ward comes away third. Jeff, how are you feeling about this run tonight in the 89 car?
I feel pretty good. We just wanted to come out here and try to have a respectable finish. Didn't really want to try to set the world on fire or anything, but we got to work on our long run speed. Abner and I think Zach there had a really good long run speed. Couldn't really stay with him on there, so got some things to work on. We could set it one lap, we can go real fast, but as far as sustaining a run, we got to work on that, and we'll try to come back next week. Hopefully be a little stronger. Actually, we're off next week, so I think it's Pocono next. That's a pretty good track, and try to do better there.
What drew you to the PRL after seeing you run in a lot of different leagues over the years?
I was running over to a pretty good racing league with a couple friends, and I think they're going to close their doors after this past season, so just trying to find a new home. Looks like I picked a good spot. We went caution free. As many years as I've been racing, that's what I like. Long races like that where strategy comes into play. That's kind of my wheelhouse, and looks like these guys got it going on. So happy to be here, man, and really looking forward to the season.
What's your thoughts on Pocono then?
I'm looking forward to it. Usually do pretty good there. Like I said, we got to work out some long run stuff, but I think if we get that dialed in, we'll be right there with some of these top guys in here. So keep putting points on the board, and hopefully we're there at the end of the season.
Any shout outs you like to give here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Lexington Brewing and Distilling for being back on the car this season. Thanks to my buddy's business, Mike Bailey Remodeling here in Kentucky, Louisville. If you're ever in this area, look him up. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast. And again, just thanks to the league for having me and putting on a heck of a show here.
Congratulations once again on the top 3 tonight, Jeff.
All right, thanks, guys.
Jeff Ward rounding out the podium here tonight. I'd like to thank the whole top 3 for taking time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Race Spot. On that note here tonight, what would you have to say about how tonight's racing played out as we go Pocono for both series now?
I think the racing tonight was great. It was a full field. It was clean. So it shows us it can happen. So now we hope it can happen all season long, including, what do we call it, JP? The tricky triangle, the pesky pentagon, whatever your view is. We're going to be there in 2 weeks, and we can debate the turn numbers at Pocono Raceway.
And it all starts at 8:30 with the trucks, 9:30 for the Grand National Series here on Race Spot. We hope to see you then from the Pocono Mountains. But on that note tonight, it's time to say goodbye from Nashville. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage of the PRL and the Truck Series and the Grand National Series. We'll see you from Pennsylvania next time out. For Derek Watson, for Dustin Ellis, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your night.